Hey everybody, and welcome back to another video on the channel. Today we're going to be talking about Brute Force for the original Xbox. The front of the box shows the tagline, "Dangerous alone, deadly together," alluding to the game's squad-based action. The back of the case, honestly, has a bit too much information, but it does highlight that the game has 18 missions on 6 different worlds, so there's a pretty expansive piece of gameplay. It also talks about how you can download missions over Xbox Live, so, early DLC all the way back in 2003. The instruction manual is pretty in-depth, telling you everything about all the different characters, weapons, and items, as well as the enemies. Also, I always have to give props to designs on discs. It looks good and fits in with the whole case design with the little bullet hole, so, it's nice to see a designed case rather than just a thrown together disc put in there. Brute Force was released in 2003 for the original Xbox. Today you can pick up a complete in-box copy like the one you just saw for around $10, so not too expensive for what is actually a Microsoft exclusive just for the original Xbox, and still hasn't been re-released or allowed to be replayed on the newer Xbox consoles today. Brute Force is a third-person shooter with a linear story. The game is straightforward and action-packed, and in our world now filled with open-world games, kind of a linear story is a nice experience sometimes. When you don't have to worry about going and finding each little collectible and each little thing, you can just kind of enjoy the game, and it's not too long of an experience. The gameplay revolves around gunfights and controlling your squad to progress through the 18 missions and eliminate the enemy forces. So you can kind of utilize each member's different abilities to advance through the mission in whichever way you prefer, be it stealth or, action-packed run and gun. The graphics were impressive in 2003 and were a focal point for the game. It holds up decent to this day, and while a little blocky, it still isn't ugly by any means. The AI handles well enough and doesn't hinder gameplay, so it's not abrasive to play today. Boss fights tend to be bullet spongy, and the ability to basically continue from a lost squad, like where you lose your whole team, is really nice because it's almost an instant continue, almost arcade style. So for those bullet sponge bosses, if you do wipe, you're still good to go. This makes the gameplay extremely forgiving in a good way. My only gripe with the game are missions that require you to destroy every enemy on the stage, because sometimes the enemy just doesn't move from its spawn location, so you just have to run around until you track down the one enemy, which games today have alleviated the issue with, they'll put them on your HUD somewhere or like an indicator. No, Brute Force fails in that respect. You just kind of have to go and hunt them down, which is just a side effect of, the time period it was from. We didn't really know how that was going to be. A casual playthrough doesn't take too long, and I personally would say if you haven't tried it before, to take the time to do so. It's really fun to experience at least once. The gameplay is pretty refreshing coming from today where everything tries to be like open world and super polished. It's just kind of a fun game to go back and experience how different everything was. The game released to good reviews and reception with a Metacritic average of 77 out of 100. Fast forward to 2021, however, and I do think the game holds up well, but not quite close to an 8. I think that might be a bit much. Brute Force is a fast, fun, campy experience, and it's definitely worthy of a 7 out of 10. Like I said, I would definitely recommend playing it. It's a good Xbox experience if you have an Xbox. Definitely just take the time, take the $5 to $10, pick up a copy, and give it a good playthrough. You may enjoy it more than you think.
Were Kingman to meet with an unfortunate accident en route, the blame would fall to bandits.
I appreciate everybody watching another review on the channel. Obviously, we'll have more coming up as we march on to 100 subscribers. If you do enjoy the content, please consider subscribing. I do also stream on Twitch. Not all of that comes over here. I'm not going to review everything I stream on Twitch. So if you do want to come hang out, talk about video game collecting or anything else, feel free. It's twitch.tv/cdian. So yeah, I appreciate everybody and have a great holiday season.